How's it going, everybody? I hope you're having an awesome day. Today, we're taking a look at how I was able to get over 47,000 capital peak points in this last raid weekend. Doing so by only cleaning up barbarian camps. One of my favorite districts to hit. We're going to be going over a variety of different layouts and a couple of different strategies that you can use. So, most importantly, while we watch the attack go in progress, we want to talk about the setup for this to actually work. So for this to work, you want to try and take out at least 2 of the splash targeting defenses, typically the air defenses, either the rock artilleries or the air bombs, and then you want to have your graveyard spells over the ones on the back end. So hopefully they can get some chip damage on the first attack, and then hopefully they can take out those defenses or at least distract for the second attack. You also want to try and get around 30% of the base taken out. And the more the better. And then if you are doing well on the first hit when you're preparing the base, you can end the attack when you get around 7,000 points still available on the base. And then hopefully if you've done it all correctly, you'll have good pathing and your rocket balloons can just blast through the base. So it's a little bit of setting up the base, taking it out. Of course, you can two-shot the base, and you'll get between around 29 and like 33,000, depending on if the barbarian camp is maxed out or not. But if you happen to find one of these bases, maybe one of your clanmates was trying to attack it and didn't quite go so well, you can use this strategy with the rocket balloons and take them out. Later in the video, we'll also be taking a look at how the miners perform on the base in different situations. So now we'll look into this attack more in-depthly. So we have the 2 rock artilleries. One we'll be sure to take out very soon since it's on the outside of the base. Then we have a freeze spell over the rock artillery, air bombs. And we did another freeze spell over a bunch of the air targeting defenses. So we're pretty much going to try and use 1 pack of balloons per defense. Going to try and spread things out. And the reason for spreading things out is that we don't want to get hit by any of the air bombs or the rock artillery hits if we can help it. You're going to get hit by a few, but you don't want your whole army to get slammed by all of it at the same time. That is no good. And if you have like 1 or 2 groups get hit by it, it's not so bad. Here we do have the graveyard spell. Take out the rock artillery, which is perfect. Took out the last air bombs, so now we're just cruising through. But really the last thing left on the base is the last air defense right there. Because now there's nothing else that can take out our balloons, our minions, or our air skeletons. So now it is nothing but cleanup. Now if you do so this way, you can clear the base and you'll typically have between like 200 to 400 points as bonus, depending on how many of your balloons still survive. So we'll take a look at another example. Again, we've got the freeze covering the rock artillery with a graveyard and air bombs. Took the other graveyard sort of in the front side of the push, because these air targeting defenses on the left side of the base can destroy quite a bit of the balloons, forcing you to use a few more packs. And then we've got the back end freeze covering the spear throwers, Teslas, air defense, and the rapid rockets. Already took out one of the other rock artilleries earlier on the base. It was on the outside, so very easy to secure that. And now we're mostly just waiting for the deployment to open up. Very important that you get deployment access to the back end of the base. So we had our minions, some air skeletons, take out the last trash building, so now we can directly target these air targeting defenses on the back end of the base. If you're not able to directly target those air targeting defenses, then using an air attack might not be that great. Because if you have a back-end air bombs or back-end rock artillery that's well protected and the graveyard skeletons won't be taken out, then you might be running into some issues. So that's where we'll see in a couple attacks I do switch things up, and you'll see why. So versus most barbarian camps, I would suggest using the rocket balloons. A lot of times they're these kind of weird spread out compartments. People, I guess, are lazy and don't want to just move things all together or create a decent layout. Not sure why, but we'll take a look at the next attack. You know, these types of bases are pretty much the standard layouts, which is nice. So we are using, again, the freeze over at least one of the splashed defenses that can target air. And then we want to cover the graveyards with the other ones. So we're looking at this back end rocket artillery. Got the double effect of the freeze and the graveyard spell, so as soon as some of these rocket balloons start dying, get some distraction going, getting some chip damage. And we can see there's a lot of trash buildings in the core of the base, so we have to sort of wait for our minions and our air skeletons to clear that out. On this left-hand side, I believe once we clear out this cannon, maybe this multi-cannon, okay, it is that section, it does open up the deployment for the back end. So now we can start to deploy some balloons onto the other portions of the base. Once all those trash buildings were cleared, we're able to deploy onto these Teslas. Teslas are a little bit pesky. It does take 2 packs of rocket balloons to take them out. We're trying to get as close as we can to this rocket artillery before it goes off. And with that freeze, we're able to get there just in time. Could have been bad if it got off one shot, especially if it was a maxed out rocket artillery. It was a lot of damage. So, again, we're seeing the rocket balloons absolutely smash these sort of spread out bases where you can get behind and directly target those air defenses. Now, we're going to take a look at the base that we actually use as well, that we got from, I believe it was Itsu's video on some of the best Capital Peak base layouts. So, kind of funny to attack our own base, but I know that this base absolutely demolishes air attacks because there are these back-end air bombs. And with all the wall segments, it's very tricky to get your packs of balloons to target them, especially with all of these defenses in front. Typically they kind of follow the cookie trail, and then they get blasted. So opted to go with the miners. What we did on the first attack was a little bit different. We took out some of the bomb towers, and then we're bringing in a heal spell on that second part you saw there. So we wanted to survive those bomb blasts and have enough hit points left over so that we could deal with some of these maxed out giant cannons. A little bit risky to use miners on the barbarian camp. Definitely have to have a plan for those bomb towers and the rock artilleries. Otherwise, you will be taking a lot of splash damage, and you will have a very sad time when you do not two-shot the base. So, especially if you're going for points, you want to try and clear the base in that final attack, get all those bonus points. Gotta plan accordingly. So we got almost 8,000 points plus 600 from having so many miners still alive. So, I thought, why not take a look at the miners and see how they do randomly on that same setup we would usually do for the rocket balloons. Only difference is that we are freezing up the giant cannons as well as all of the point defenses. We have, we have 1 bomb tower, we have 2 bomb towers still alive, so not too bad. As long as we don't get hit too many times by the giant cannons, we should be okay. Fun to watch the miners go through the base. We're watching and got this giant cannon got off 1 shot. Rocket artillery got off 1 shot. So that giant cannon goes down. Rocket artillery gets off a decent hit. We use the lightning to reset it briefly, and now we finally take out the rocket artillery. So there's not too much trouble on the base left. We have this back end giant cannon to worry about, but like we were discussing earlier, if you have like over 6 miners in a pack, they're just going to demolish everything that they see. So, got some of the graveyard skeletons distracting briefly from when we destroyed those giants. Because the graveyard spell, they do spawn if you destroy the enemy ground or air units. So, we're able to get through that last ground splash targeting defense. We're able to get the full amount plus 675 points. We ended up with almost 48,000. Very crazy. Very reliable way to probably get around 48,000. Because you're looking to get around 7,000 to 8,000 points per attack and get 6 attacks. So hopefully you found this video helpful. Hopefully you learned a thing or two. It's definitely going to be one of the main strategies I use to try and push for points. Love to clear out the second hit on the Barbarian Camp. But if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. Helps me out a bunch. There's a couple more videos on the screen if you want to keep on watching. Until next time, take care.